get started then. All right. Oh, whoops. Well, that was, there we go. Fix that problem. Hi, everybody.
Nice.
Welcome to Discussing Tabletop. There was always going to be something. As I was like, I'm forgetting something, and it was, just being on the right spot for the video, right? Right, Foggy? Foggy says yes. She agrees with me that I forget a lot of things, but hello, welcome, and I've remembered to do that. So the window isn't being blocked. There we go. I remembered it. And there's one more window I have to do that for. This one here. Cool. Great. But yes, it's the end of February. It's the 28th. Woo!
It is.
Made
February is come and gone.
Yeah. I would have liked the weather to be more consistent or nicer, It's like if we just got tiny snowfalls throughout it, I wouldn't have mind. Just like, we got a couple of inches. That's not hard to shovel. That's pretty easy to shovel. Just give me that. Like, it's a couple of inches. We can get rid of it, move on, That's just all I ask for if you're going to snow. If not, just please don't. Don't. Weather. You've turned against me and stabbed me in the back.
Yeah, if you're gonna snow over here.
Yeah, give it to Worm. He'll love it.
We're always in a drought. I live in California.
Yeah. But yeah, we got a lot of interesting things to talk about today. Got a lot of little miniature topics. It looks like it just ended up being like a lot of things to report on, but not a very big one. But how did everybody's week go? I guess that's where we'll kind of start with things.
It's been an alright week. Been playing a lot of Helldivers again.
Ah, interesting.
So that's been fun.
Okay.
Went out today and bought Resident Evil Requiem, so I'll report on how that is at some point, probably.
What?
I haven't played it yet.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. It has been a weird kind of thing for me in Requiem because I was definitely not gonna play it at launch here. I was gonna wait to play it, so I was catching some people here and there. But it was sort of like I've now seen the beginning like 3 times, the first hour, because it's like people that I'm like how much time I can get to it and how much they release by day or something like that.
Yeah,
I do feel like I have to sit down and watch like Bakwasoup's version of it, but I don't know if I wanted to wait for him to compile it into one big VOD,
That's fair, yeah.
And I think Ray put one out today, and I was gonna like also
Ray had his first thought out, I think.
Yeah, looks fun.
I'm looking forward to playing it. As everyone at this point knows, I am like probably one of the biggest Resident Evil fans, for better or worse.
It certainly is a franchise that they've tried a lot of things.
It's had its ups and downs.
I mean, I'm not far behind you in being there on its side. I've just tended to stick to a lot of the more mainline games of the franchise. Only a few of the side ones. Only a few. Always thought about delving into a few of those other ones. And I do own a few of those other ones. So it's things like the Revelation series I've thought about at least trying out once. But haven't yet.
Fair.
So, there was also a very interesting video that just came out today, and I put it in my Discord, and it's so topical to some things we've talked about. William SRD, who I've posted a couple of videos of here and there, he did one that he talked about the D&D VTT history, which included a lot of information on the 4th edition one that was so interesting. That it brings to context a lot of what happened along with that, a lot more than I would have thought. It was very interesting to hear about. Yes. I did not realize the only reason that currently D&D has a successful VTT that kind of exists is because all the corporates threw all their corporate speak and crazy ideas into Sigil, and then it died while this other one was being developed. So it got to develop without all the corporate meddling. I'm like,
pretty much, yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense why they have something right now that's actually pretty okay. But
will they learn that is not meddling is an important step? Probably not.
No. I mean, it's the same kind of thing of like, you know, and again, I've always been under that joke of like, fourth edition was very MMO coded, and it was, but it still was like the people that made it still actually did a good job of trying to figure out how to like make stuff work. You know, you can't bust that entire portion of it. They did make a game, and it functioned. But that was a good little like video. I think that was the most interesting video, other than like checking out some of Requiem. I'm trying to think of if there's anything else that was interesting this week. I mean, I'm kind of like a nominal Pokemon fan, so I was at least, you know, like, that's interesting for the Gen 10 announcement, but I'm also like, it's going to be a game unless you show me something. It looked okay, the trailer they gave, but it's not enough to say it's going to be good. You know, that's kind of where I'm at.
Unfortunately, I'm not a Pokemon fan.
Yeah.
I am, which is why I haven't touched Pokemon in a while.
Yeah, it's as I said,
I've seen the 3 starters for this gen.
Yeah.
And my only thoughts are, I can't wait for those to just become people again.
I think you're not wrong. I've heard that joke so many times about them. Can't wait for them to become, you know, furry.
Just gonna become a guy.
Just
That dog's gonna be buff.
Look now, at least one of them could go the Skeledirge route and just be a big old beastie.
Oh. I wonder if we're gonna have another firefighting type. Everyone loves those.
You know, I
Feel
get
reliable.
You never know. They might go firefighting for the dog. You never know.
Yeah, it's gonna get human arms and punch people.
That's a Pomeranian. I don't know why it's going. Human arms.
Big human arms.
It's just gonna that's all it's gonna do. It's gonna still be a Pomeranian. It's just gonna get big old human arms and legs. It's just gonna be a dog with arms and legs.
I'm personally excited for every Pokemon fan to win the "You Fell For It Again" award.
Again, I'm gonna definitely be the look. You know, until you actually have like real gameplay that looks good and like shows something, I'm not trusting it at all. Anyway.
Just like some voice acting.
Voice acting, yes. Even if you didn't do a lot for the graphics, just give voice acting would improve so much.
The game looks fine. The water looked really nice because the Switch 2 is proper good hardware. Game looks fine. You just make a game that is modern and not 90s.
We asked them. We're not going to receive. But yeah. So yes. That was I guess that's most of what happened this week. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that like stood out as interesting things going on, and I think that's pretty the big things there.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if anything else really happened that's worth noting.
Yeah. Again, I think it was overall a decent week with some interesting stuff. Just not a lot of nothing that really stands out, I think is the best way to say it. Which is not necessarily bad. So, all right. Well, how about we, Worm? I think we kind of glossed over you if you had anything interesting that happened in your week.
My dad got diagnosed with a rare form of Parkinson's.
Oh.
Welp.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully everything can go well for that, at least as well as it can. I know that they've been making some developments. Hopefully they help out, you know.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Someone who's sees a lot of people with that, I wish you the best of luck.
My grandpa had it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, things can travel in families. You know. I know there's definitely that. I guess that's a classic. Is if things travel in families, you have to make sure to always think about it and stuff like that.
That's why it's important to go to the doctor and get checked.
Yep. I unfortunately know that in a couple of years, I'm going to have to start regularly going for colonostomies because my grandmother died of colon cancer. And that could be genetic. Rather than being diagnosed, that's a thing you got to do sometimes. Like if you got other kinds of cancer in your family, you got to check them out. Anyway, shall we get into some generalized news? Because there's definitely some interesting stuff to do in the RPG world. We got some topics to talk about. We'll go through the quick and dirty ones. Let's make some space for these links here. The Legends of Vantress people are putting out a 5e book for space opera stuff. Now, granted, like, I think we've had our thing about talking about how 5e is right now, but this definitely could be information you could use and adapt for other systems, too. But generally speaking, it's kind of interesting, and they've done a pretty good job of a lot of interesting products on their end, along with their live plays and stuff like that, too. I think it oftentimes inspires a lot of their stuff. So I just kind of wanted to shout that one out there, that they're going to be putting a Kickstarter out for that one. Neat. Then we can also briefly mention that D&D is getting a fan expo in, it looks like, London in August. So this one's going to be a event with actual group play and a number of things going on. So other than the D&D Faan Expo being hosted in London, we don't have a lot of information on it at this point in time. But tickets are going to be going live soon.
Nice.
So, yes. If you will happen to be in London or are planning to visit in late August and want to go to the D&D Faan Expo, you can. But get tickets now. The people that do Obojima are coming out with a new book for Obojima.
Good. It's a good setting.
Yeah. So this one, I don't think it's the same one. Again, like, I just know this is the official release date of the Tales from the Grass. I don't think it's the one. They've come out with a bunch of them, so it's hard to remember all the names.
So the Tales from the Grass is the first book. And it looks like they've announced probably, I know they have announced another book.
Yeah.
Because I have this book. It's on my shelf currently.
Mm.
But I'm going to assume this might be an announcement for, like, books that aren't from the Kickstarter run. Like, you can actually go and buy it now.
Yeah. Oh, this could be retail. I think that's what this is more is. That I guess this.
Yeah, I'm assuming this is retail.
Yeah. This is the last Kickstarter. It's coming to retail now. So, hey, cool. Great. Probably successful.
Very cool setting. I really like it.
Definitely, it's one of those ones that's like on my list of ones that'd be interesting to try out. I don't know if I'd want to run it, but I'd want to try it out.
It's
definitely.
very, very cozy.
Yeah, I'd probably come up with a cozy game, but I don't know if I have enough cozy bones in my body. I don't know. I've lost. I'm losing it. Okay, we're moving on before I lose it even more. So Evil Hat Games is coming out with a game called Rocket Club, which is basically it's getting a play test, and they describe it as middle schoolers versus aliens. So,
all right, very kids on bike.
Yeah, kids on bike-esque. There's definitely been plenty of movies and TV series that have done this kind of thing. So I'm like, okay, yeah, no, this is the kind of thing. I'd be curious as to how mechanical it is, all these questions about it, but they have a playtest that they're going to be working on. So you'll have a chance to see for yourself with that about it. I guess, they're in the midst of developing it. So yeah, you can kind of check it out, see what you think about it, and let them know so they could develop it and improve it. And they do have a...
Evil Hat sounds like a type of Linux.
You're not wrong. Okay. So there are two topics I wanted to dive a little deeper into, but they aren't like major topics. There wasn't a lot this week, I'm not gonna lie. It was a lot of little topics. So first off, maybe we can talk a little bit about the Hellfire crisis, and I called it Hellbreakers because I'm an idiot. Oh no, Hellbreakers Adventure Path is what it is. That's right, so I'm correct. So the Hellbreakers Player's Guide is out now, so we can know a lot more about it. I'll put the link to their announcement. So you can actually download it, hey, free, as Paizo always does with the player guide. It usually includes, basic information, character suggestions, like ancestry classes and stuff that would be most appropriate. It's kind of like, hey, you could probably play whatever, but, if you really want to fit in with what's going on, really should probably play these kind of things. These other ones, yeah, you probably could play them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, just reading this, it sounds interesting, but it's also kind of the joke of, oh boy, Paizo, what do you have today? Oh, this is the 4th time you've shown rebels going against Cheliax.
Yeah, I mean...
They like to do that one a lot.
Look, I'm not gonna lie, Cheliax is a pretty easy punching bag in a lot of these ways.
I mean, it is the evil nation. It hasn't gotten any better.
No. They haven't written the "we're not the evil nation" away from it anymore. I mean, they have done things to, in quotations, improve it. Like, the queen basically being like, we just had this major rebellion. The slaves look like they might do that. You know what? No more slaves. Not because we're evil and we don't want them, but I don't want them to rebel, and I've got more pressing problems. She freed the slaves, not for a good reason. She did, which was great for the nation, but not for good reasons. And it also probably then, classes problems, and just because you're free doesn't mean you're not going to be an indentured service in the kind of place Cheliax is. It's kind of awful, those places.
Definitely would be a little more interesting to see how this one plays out versus the Hell's Rebels, because I think this is what Isger is literally like basically properly within Cheliax, not a coastal nation or anything. It's just I think it's between it and Druma, right?
Isger is technically a puppet nation that really is Chelaxian territory, but they're, that quotation, semi-independent. So it's really just our neighbor's a puppet state of us that we use as a, middle ground. But with all the crap going on, I guess that's kind of destabilizing thing and bring about this war. I don't know. It's I guess it'll be an interesting one to see how it goes. I like how they're like, well, any undead ancestries would be not recommended. Look, strongly recommended, appropriate. I guess appropriate is like, you can make it work. I assume that's what that means. Interesting. So yeah, I do like how they're dividing that a lot more nowadays. Just because I remember how the older adventure paths were and how they tried to show off that stuff, and it wasn't as well.
I mean, appropriate means it works. Recommended means it. Yeah, so it's just more.
Like appropriate, you could justify a hobgoblin showing up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like
not recommended. Usually doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means that everyone's going to hate you.
Yeah, it's like playing a hobgoblin in Iron Fang is not going to work out.
No. Again, you could probably do it for reasons, but it would also mean that, like, I'm not going to lie.
Of the heavy penalties against the party.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, is the enemy might target you a lot more because you're a traitor.
Yeah.
It's not recommended for good reason. Not that you couldn't make it work, but you just shouldn't. Yeah. So, and they do the same, of course, with like classes, language, and skills. I like that they do that with the skills and languages too, because they're like, hey, these are the languages you're most likely going to encounter, and here's the skills that you're going to use the most of. That's also smart too. Again, if you look at older books, most of the times they're like ancestries and classes they talk about, but the other one, maybe languages, maybe, but like skills, I didn't even think about that as a good thing to recommend.
I do kind of like the recommended classes and stuff, because it is like, yes, every class is appropriate, but some classes are probably not going to get as much loot.
Yeah. And they will work better with whatever's going on here too. It's definitely, I think, seeing this now and comparing it to a lot of the first edition things, they've come a long way on like being able to like, throw out there the, what you couldn't play, and like how easy it would be to integrate things in very interesting ways. So yeah. And of course, they have their backgrounds here too, archetype stuff. So that's all cool. So yeah, when is it officially coming out? Because the pre-order is up. March 4th is the expected release date.
Well, I mean, that's pretty soon.
Yeah. And it's going to be another one of their more recent ones, the one book adventure path. So it's just one giant book that takes you from 1 to 10. That's going to be the entire adventure path. So
it's a very modern way of doing it versus having like 6 magazine-sized books.
Yeah, I kind of like this too better. Also, I'm not going
to.
Yeah,
the buy-in's a little more expensive, but you're ultimately getting a complete package.
Yeah. And honestly speaking, again, it's sort of like, you get a physical book if you run the big one, or you can probably wait for the PDF too. So, I don't see the PDF release date here yet. It's just for the hardcover or special edition.
I mean, I will say, as someone who is probably going to start running Pathfinder 1E at some point, it is kind of a nightmare getting all of those books.
Like,
I believe it.
I have a weird collection of physical and digital books of those, and I know that, Blaze has some, and some of my other friends have some. We did a pretty good job of the Adventure Pass we were running, and there was a couple that people got because we were planning on running them and never did, and stuff like that. So, it's
I was looking into doing Iron Gods.
Ooh.
For a while. They didn't have PDFs of that, so if I wanted to run it, I could get books 2 through 6 for very cheap, but book 1 would have cost $200.
I might have Iron Gods or know someone that does have copies of it. I'd have to look.
I mean, I know you just get the PDFs.
For a while, they didn't have the PDFs for this one up.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the site.
Because it wasn't put up yet, because I assume the site changeover.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, because they've got their whole new.
Yeah, apparently, I don't know what it is, but books 2 through 6 very cheap for this adventure. Book 1 is a lot of money. If you want a physical version,
you should still be able to get it on their legacy site, because that's why they left the legacy site up.
I guess because they're having problems kind of integrating everything over. But
it's honestly it's actually very smart for them to do that, so that way they can like work out the bugs and still let people have access.
Interesting. So that's the first of the big interesting topics. So yeah, so if you're interested in Hellbreakers, check out the player's guide and see if you want to run it. As we said, it's one big book. Now the other thing to talk about is, hey, we learned about a Pathfinder book by accident by Paizo. So they leaked a book. They put it up on their site.
These things happen.
Yeah. It sounds like a very interesting book too. It's going to be basically based on the First World. It's a Fey book. So it'd be like players and GM are things like archetypes, Fey and Sire stuff. They say curses, like transformation, memory, magic, a lot of stuff like that. More Fey ancestries. Certainly speaking, I know that some of these actually exist as player ancestries between first and second edition. Others we haven't had, but I think have been types of Fey. So that because they mention Fawn, Gremlins, Nymphs, and Sprites. I know Nymphs and Sprites you've been able to play before, but maybe Fawns, but not Gremlins. I don't think. So
is the First World before, even the what is the First World in?
The First World is Feywild. It's their Feywild. It's their Feywild.
Okay.
Yeah. They just have a different name for it, and there's lore reasons why I can't remember off the top of my head.
There's the real reasons are copyright, obviously.
Yes, that's again real reason copyright. We can't call it Feywild.
They have a Shadow Realm or Shadowfell, but it's called the Netherworld.
Yeah. It's kind of like it's one of those things that I faced today, this week. I was thinking about when I was talking about something, and I was like, the name Tarask was used in Pathfinder, and technically speaking, there's a historical creature based on that, but I don't know if they can use it because the version they had been basing it off of is the D&D one. They
can use the name because the name isn't copyrighted.
Yeah, that's why I'm That's why we like don't know if that's still a spawn of Rovagug or not.
Yeah, yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. So there's stuff like that happens, especially in the, but they did walk away from names a lot anyway, but especially after the remaster project, they really walked away from names.
Yeah. I mean, I went through, it's actually kind of interesting because when I was skimming through the difference between the Dread Archives and the updated Dread Archives, I think it's Dread Archive, whatever. Anyway, that book. The Something Archives book. One of the things I noticed most was I was just scrolling through both at the same time, and the thing I noticed was different the most was the art. They actually changed. There's a number of things that they changed because they had creatures that they didn't have, or they're stepping away from.
Makes sense. It's there's just such a interesting with everything that's kind of changed along with it, definitely. So, but yeah, no, definitely it's one of those things that we got a sense of what this is early. It's something that hasn't been announced. We don't know exactly when it is. So, but still cool.
Someone made a mistake. Paizo's not the type to persecute someone and kill them because they were the ones who leaked a product.
Yeah. It seems like the other things that were also kind of revealed around there is they're going to do a Lost Omen book focused on Cheliax, which honestly, with all the stuff they've been doing there, it makes sense.
We could have kind of predicted this one.
Yeah.
Paizo's never going to send the Pinkertons.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not at all, fortunately. And then the other one is they are going to be doing an adventure path focused on the Darklands, which is actually, I think, nice, because that's one of those areas that there are some interesting stories that could be told there. And the last one we got was has been retconned because it involved drow.
Yeah. I mean, that's you gotta replace all the drow with snake people.
Yeah. Because now officially
is that what
it's just
replacing it with the snake people.
No,
yeah,
yes and no.
So drow are retconned out of Pathfinder.
Yeah,
I know that.
The adventure where you were supposed to fight drow turns out to have been propaganda about evil elves from the snake people.
Yeah.
And the snake people, it's an actual species that has been around. They just combine them because they're a species that was supposed to be if you look at the old lore, there's an age of serpents where these serpent folk ruled the world, and then humans showed up and kicked their ass, basically.
Unfortunately, the concept of drow is something Wizards of the Coast does own.
Yeah,
I know.
That doesn't mean there's not a subterranean species of elf. It's just
they can still probably do dusk elves.
Yeah, I think they've got a dusk elf kind of their version of stuff instead. So there is something down there, but it's totally not appropriately evil for what they had that entire book for. So yeah. So it's been quite a while since we had a proper Darkland adventure. So
I mean, I know high elves and wood elves are actually a Tolkien thing, so
yeah.
Because it's weird because WotC owns the drow, but they don't own the term dark elf. Just gets weird.
Well, that's probably because dark elf isn't specific enough to be copywritten.
If anyone would own, dark elf is also just a mythology thing for the most part as well.
That's true too.
Very it's like Scandinavian evil elves.
It's a Norse evil elf, yeah.
So it does look like the Cheliax book is down, but the Darklands book is still up if you want to check and look out that. They link it in the article I provided there. So you can see the vault lines they call it. Okay, so yes, they are dealing with the vaults at the core of the Darklands. Because turns out everything horrific in the Darklands was caused by a bunch of earth beings, or earth elemental type creatures that made gigantic vaults in the center of the earth and outside of Rovagug and experimented for a while. And then just abandoned
snake people. Snake people are going to be involved. You can see them in the background.
Oh yeah, the schema, I think that is. I believe.
Yep.
Which it would be nice for an update on them, because like they do have very interesting lore for, you know, having had an ancient empire, but they don't really talk a lot about them. Plus, you know, remaster project.
Yep.
So.
No, they're definitely going to need... I honestly do at this point believe they are going to remaster literally every book. It's kind of interesting that they stopped kind of announcing it, and now they're all stealth drops. In fact, I need to buy the most recent one because they're not even including it in the rulebook listing.
They really are just trying to, like, as much as... Again, they've come out with a lot of stuff for second edition, so they're just kind of going into there and being like, what do we need to release to get back up to where we were and transition over to this entire, you know, new version of it. Which isn't a bad thing to ask. So, we're working on it. Right.
Well, maybe I will get it. I don't know. It's weird, because it's like, I do have hardcover of Dark Archives in my basket still. Like, it's under, like, awaiting shipment or awaiting order. They list one thing in one place, but not... Okay, awaiting fulfillment is what their listing is. But I already got the PDF. So maybe they're just getting that together and they released the PDF already. I don't know.
Always
Maybe I will get
questions.
it. I don't know.
Sometimes they'll be answered, sometimes they'll... We'll have to find out. But, yeah. So, alright. So that's our little big topics today. We can go into a little bit of what I call the TCG mini kind of news section of here, just a little bit here. We got a couple of topics to talk about. Hey, that lawsuit we were talking about, it got voluntarily dismissed, which means I'm going to be 99% sure whoever was filing it got bribed somehow.
Probably.
Well, they call that a settlement.
Well.
Yeah, I know it is. I know what they call it. They settled out of court.
Which is how these usually go.
Yes.
Yeah. It's very rare for like contract stuff to not be settled.
Yeah. I would have thought it would have gone a little farther. It was like it showed up and went away like that.
Yeah, stuff like this really never goes very far.
Granted, it was apparently dismissed in such a way that it could be refiled in case later on.
Well, because that's the thing. The filing...
It was dismissal.
Like, that's true. So that's the thing, though. It's between them and their, like, shareholders. It's like a class action by the shareholders. So obviously just the people who filed it were like, hey, you know, it was kind of more of a, we'll sue you if you don't make changes. So there might actually be changes coming. And you know, obviously there's deals, and they probably came to a conclusion about, like, we don't know. We'll have to find out, but currently it's we're probably not going to find out the exact details of this, because I'm glad that it was settled, though, because an actual lawsuit could have ended up in setting very bad precedents for America. Not that those don't already exist, but you know.
It was the thing that...
I don't want companies to be even more beholden to their shareholders, because that's only going to cause the current problem to get much worse.
It was one of those things, is there was half of the suit that we would have wanted to be persecuted, you know, things that sound a lot like possible, like, fraud and stuff like that. That should be taken care of. But then on the other hand, we had everything else related to it, which was, you know, stuff that were like...
Yeah, the one from 2022, that makes sense, because that is literally fraud and lying to your shareholders. This was shareholders saying that the brand, or that they were misusing the brand, which is a different problem.
No, I thought there was also there was the entire thing of using magic products to, like, you know, it was holding back stock during and stuff, like, and problems and stuff like that.
There were. Well, yeah, they were... Well, so they overstocked, but then lied about the overstocking, because they, like, overstocked and they were like, oh, it's actually this. Oh, no, it's actually that. And so they were literally lying, and so that's
when they say here, while Wizards claims the set sold out in an hour, the lawsuit claims the leftover stock was dumped in Texas landfills. and it basically again like that's.
Oh wait, this is about the first one. This is about the 2022 lawsuit.
Yes, this is the 2022 law. No.
I thought this was the 2025 lawsuit.
The 2022 was the buyback or something like that. The 2020, this one is all about the like stuff like they were doing with Magic 30, I guess.
Okay.
Look, there's a bunch of lawsuits against Wizards that they keep getting into with their stockholders. This is not the first time. It will not be the last time.
Well, that's the thing. This was the first time. That's why I was confused. I thought this was the second one. There's been two. There's not been a bunch. There's been two. The first one was they lied about their stock, their stocking, like their product stocks, or stocking warehouses and stuff. The second one was misusing the Magic the Gathering brand.
So it sounds like the
harming the Magic the Gathering by overprinting cards and values. Yeah. Wait, no. And that's the more recent one. Earlier this year, Hasbro shouldered Joseph filed a lawsuit. Yeah, so this is the more recent one that got dismissed.
Yeah, that's why I was saying like
the lawsuit claimed that overprinting Magic sets, which increased exponentially in recent years. Yeah. No, there's two. Okay, so there's two lawsuits. This is the second one. The first one, I don't know if that's still in litigation or not. I'd have to double check. But I think they actually won that one. But there was one where during the pandemic they overstocked products, thinking that people would stay inside for longer, and then they lied to shareholders about that. That was the first one. Then there's this one, which is the harming the Magic the Gathering brand by overprinting cards. That was filed last year.
Yeah. And also lying about Magic.
Yeah, it was
30.
settled. And
yeah.
So I was correct about everything I said. It would have been a bad precedent. The first one makes sense because it was fraud. This one wasn't fraud. It was just being stupid.
Wouldn't the saying you sold a bunch of product and then dumping it in a landfill be a little bit of fraud though, technically? Because this is part of it. The 30th anniversary, they're like, oh, it's sold out, and the basically people were like, no, you dumped it in a landfill.
Okay. Our claim made in the lawsuit was that Wizard artificially overhyped the performance of the set. Lawsuit claimed that the overprinting Magic sets, which had increased exponentially in recent years, has weakened confidence in the brand. No. It's more. See, the lawsuit is about the confidence in the brand. One claim made in the lawsuit was that they artificially overhyped performance set, our anniversary set, which sold for $999. While Wizards claimed the set sold out in an hour, the lawsuit claimed the stocks was dumped in Texas landfill or enforcing claims. Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, so there was some misconduct there. There's definitely some things there that might prevent them from being sued, though, if they oh no, the initial printing sold out in an hour, it just wasn't specific, and stuff like that. There's things. Who knows? There may have been some misleading, but they've been misleading the public about their performance for even D&D, so that doesn't surprise me.
It's a mess. Okay. All right. We should move on though, because there's a couple more things that we kind of talk about. But that was an interesting mess to dive into. That was more of a mess than I thought it was, even with that.
I need to see if I can email the Legal Eagle channel about these role-playing lawsuits.
They are.
Part of me wants them to cover it because I want to know about them.
Yeah. So Asmodee is going to be distributing the Cyberpunk Legends card game that's being done by Night Crew. So Night Crew basically had a Kickstarter for a Cyberpunk Legends card game that they did along with our Talisman, which are the people that own Cyberpunk, so the two of them together came up with this card game. And apparently Asmodee USA is going to be the distributor for it. Exclusive distributor.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
It's what that company is good at doing.
Yeah. So I'm just saying it's getting some good support, at this point in time. With Asmodee as a distributor behind it. That's a good thing to be. It's sort of if you are probably getting out a TTRPG and you get on Modiphius's good side and they are basically distributing it there. They're a pretty big, third party TTRPG distributor too on top of everything. So it's sort of like it's the same kind of thing, except Asmodee is technically a lot bigger. You know, they've got a lot of that leftover chunks of Embracer in their DNA at this point in time. Festering a little bit, but it's there. So yeah, it's a new way to be enjoying Cyberpunk stuff. Cyberpunk Legends, we knew it was successful. This was 2025. Did we talk about it? We probably talked about it. I'm going to say there was a good chance we did.
If not, we're talking about it now.
Yeah. They ended up getting a pretty decent chunk of money, and so yeah. It's going to be a narrative card game, so sounds like fun. So yeah. Cool. Hey, I mentioned Pokemon earlier and their big thing that they had, and they're having a 30th anniversary, so they're having a 30th anniversary set for the TCG. They got a teaser for it. We don't know a lot about it, but like, yeah, it's supposed to have a lot of stuff, and will probably be scalped for who knows how much price, which is unfortunate. Even though
normal people aren't getting this one.
Which, you know, it's one of those ones being a 30th anniversary thing. It's very sad. And you're like, it would be nice if they would be able to get it. Sorry, people. Again, scalpers. Those bastards. But again, maybe you get lucky and it's going to have apparently a bunch of reprints from older sets and stuff too. So it's going to mark, you know, some of the TCG history too. So cool. For those of you that are into the TCG, I wanted to throw that out there.
Yep.
Similarly speaking, go ahead.
I was say, yeah, it's neat. I think it's kind of cool. There's lots of weird cards and stuff.
Yeah, they had a lot over the years. I'm also trying to like throw some other TCGs in there too. Some like, and speaking of some other TCGs, hey, I do want to give a shout out to Lorcana because the Disney game, because they're getting the Wild Unknowns is going to be pre-order, and that's their set that will feature things from Pixar movies, Toy Story, Incredibles,
Nice.
Brave. So yeah, they're bringing in their Pixar stuff to Lorcana, and there's going to be the set that's going to feature that coming out in May for their pre-release with an official release a little later on in the month on the 15th. So hey, yeah, you know, continuing to be a big powerhouse and joining the TCG sphere, and I'm all for it. Competition is good, and there's a lot of cool games.
I don't plan to pay Disney any money anytime soon.
Look, you know, I have one TCG I occasionally buy some cards for, and that's about it. Sorry, Wizards, you're not getting a lot out of me at this point in time, and I haven't jumped ship yet, but you've gotten close. Working towards it. Anyway,
I pretty much jump ship from Wizards. If I get 5e stuff, it's going to be from non-official sources at this point.
For a little bit
They make better stuff anyway.
Yeah, for a little bit of mini stuff, we can talk about the 4 combat patrols for 40k that we know about. 2 of these, I think we've kind of talked about before. Or
yeah, we talked about the Corsairs.
Yeah, the 2 Corsairs ones, but they're also coming out with a Kroot Mercenaries and Night Lords group. I guess the Kroot Mercenaries are not just... Because aren't those with the...
They're the Kroot or Tau. They're the Tau Empire.
That's what I was thinking. So I guess since they're mercenaries, you can use them outside of the Tau, or are they just going to be Tau stuff too?
Well, you would use them in your Tau army if you would, like, because it's just a Kroot box for Tau basically.
Gotcha. I don't always know how these combat patrol boxes work when it comes to your armies.
Yeah, you would get your Kroot rules from your Tau Codex, and you would play them in your Tau army.
I guess it's something that I've heard about, like, in passing. I think one of the items was ridiculous. I was seeing Bricky mentioned it, that, like, in the current edition, they don't have a lot of in-between groups, so you wouldn't have, like, actual mercenaries and stuff you could hire on.
They really don't. And it's more non-Tau for the Tau to play, which is always good, because the Tau Empire is supposed to have a bunch of species in it, but there's not a lot of species representation.
Where are our psychic owlbears?
I'm
sorry,
give it a while, and they might show up in Necromunda.
Everything shows up in Necromunda. They're supposed to be the Tau. I mean, like, we know it's like the list of things that are in the Tau, and it's like we don't get to see it. I want these psychic bears with owl heads. Anyway,
look, Tau don't sell, so why would they make stuff for them?
I think they actually sell quite well nowadays.
They have
That
the
wouldn't
people
surprise me.
Yeah.
They do. I know because side tangent. GW is trying to break into the Japanese market, and the Tau do exceptionally well over there.
Makes sense.
The Tau and the Eldari do very well in Japan.
Both of those make sense because they are very coded. Like the Tau are very like anime coded, and the Eldari are very samurai.
I mean, the
coded.
Tau are basically they have Gundams basically. So
Yeah. I guess the last one's some Night Lords. So yes.
yay, Night Lord representation. The worst guys.
They are really terrible. This just is an article that was talking to someone as an interview, but I wanted to use it to bring up something that I didn't know was going on, which was weird, but also apparently is very popular. There's a My Little Pony TCG in Asia that's going to be coming out in the US.
Is.
I'm like, what the hell? That's something that, like, I guess it's global TCGs I don't hear much about. It's kind of like those there's just random TCGs from other places in the world you hear about. Occasionally you're like, interesting. Apparently it's had some popularity over like in Asia, and they're getting a US version.
I think it's pretty popular in China.
Yeah. I guess it was pretty successful in China, and they had the Japan launch that went pretty well.
There are places in the world that don't have highly concentrated oligopolies where small creators can license things and make good products.
And not gonna
Sounds
lie,
like a fantasy world personally.
So that's coming out in April. So again, like it's definitely female skewing in its brand, but I'm sure there's plenty of people that play TCGs to play TCGs too.
And there's plenty of grown adult dudes who like the show as well. Which there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, if they're if they're bringing it to the U.S., they're gonna get a lot more men in that demographic.
They're still there. They've just been a little quiet. They haven't gone away. And then one last thing for our TCG things here too, and that's an interesting one, is related again to the Pokemon Company and Pokemon TCG, is they've acquired XL brands, so they're basically becoming their own distributor in a lot of ways.
Maybe that's good, maybe that's bad.
That's kind of where I'm on with that one.
What that means.
Yeah. They've acquired distributor and category management XL Brands, which is currently largest U.S. distributor of Pokemon TCG. So basically,
I don't think much will change with the availability of Pokemon.
Yes. It's just they basically... I guess
it sounds like they just absorbed a company and probably won't change much.
Yeah, it was a company they were already it was the company they were already working with and doing a lot of the job for them, so they just absorbed it into them.
Yeah, vertical integration, I think it's called.
Yeah, probably won't change anything, but we'll kind of see how that all goes there too.
They probably won't really even restructure that much with the company.
No, they maybe will have some of the Pokemon Company money behind them for fighting against their their competitors and stuff like that, which again is I don't know, good or bad at this point in time. It's too.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. And again, it's still that's
integration.
Yeah, it still has to go through regulatory approval and stuff like that. But yeah, so usual thing for big things. All right, we can move on to more the board games plus other news that I don't have a good place for, and that includes video games I put over in here. So let's talk about Tech Marine from Space Marine 2.
Yay, Tech Marine.
Yes, so you can be a Tech Marine now in Space Marine 2. I know only a little about that.
I haven't played the update yet, but I'm looking forward to trying it out. I really like Tech Marines.
Where do they fit into things? Because
they don't have their own Tech Marines chapter, are in every chapter has Tech Marines for the most part. They are they are Space Marine plus AdMech basically.
Yeah. Basically, because like Adeptus Mechanicus can't send someone with Space Marines into battle, they basically train someone to work with them.
They're very good with technology.
Yeah,
yeah. I figured it was something like that, but it's nice just to know.
Just for fun facty clarification, Chaos has a variant. They're called Warpsmiths.
Yeah. Instead of fixing things, they like go like things with demons in them and like
Yeah,
try to
they're
provoke
usually
it.
from whatever Pertriavo's legion was, and they just put demons into stuff.
I put a demon into this tank. It's very angry. I'm now going to poke it with a stick and send it at some people. All right, job done. That's probably actually what they do.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
I've had my tank possessed by a demon, and now I've like just gotten it pissed off and pointed it at the enemy.
Yeah, sometimes it makes the tank work better.
Sometimes.
Other times you now just have an angry demon controlling a tank.
Yeah, I saw a few people were playing and I didn't have a chance to catch anything out, but I haven't watched a lot of Space Marine 2.
Yeah, there's the other 2 smaller bits of news were attached. You can now, if you buy the DLCs, you can play as a Raven Guard, which is fun, or you can play as the coolest guys, the Carcharodons, who are the Shark Space Marines.
It's so often like, because there's so many weird successor chapters. I'm not gonna lie. Every time you hear about a few of them, they're like, "That's just why does that exist? Who came up with these? You just couldn't stick with the. We got like 9 of them for each side."
To who came up with these was some guy in the 90s who just got done snorting a line of coke.
You're not wrong. I think that's where most of these. That's where they're like, well, we had 9 for each side. Let's just make it any number and have these things we call successors.
Make a bunch of weird shit.
Yeah. Was it like? Oh God, I saw the Adeptus Ridiculous episode where they talked about soul drinkers. Where I'm like, what?
I love the soul drinkers.
They're called the soul drinkers. And you would think
they're good.
They're good. They're not chaos. They're loyal.
All right. Well, let me hit you with this one. What do you think the Space Marine chapter, the Flesh Terrors are?
They're also loyal.
They're loyalists. They're the good guys.
These names are like, you're not reassuring me that these guys are the good guys. I mean, they're really not.
That's the thing about space. That's the thing about Warhammer. The good guys aren't the good guys.
There is none. You're just slightly gooder than the other guys sometimes.
Just go look at like any Blood Angel successor name.
Just yep. So cool. Yeah, Tech Marines out. So if you want to check it out. Speaking of video game updates, apparently not Baldur's Gate 3, but Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 got an update.
Please stop touching old games.
Yeah. It's a new update to their engine, I guess, was what it happened is. It's the same thing that happened with Diablo 2, I guess.
Well, Diablo 2 came with a content update as well.
I guess this is more like because
This is likely stability.
Yeah, the engine got updated, so they went in and updated the engine for the game too. You know. I guess at the Infinity engine, it's reached 2.7, so you're using this to update the game too. I mean, it's one of those things is like, this at least doesn't sound terrible. They're like, hey, we made a much more stable, better version of the same engine we use.
Some more stable build.
Yeah, we can go in there and fix it.
Yeah. I mean, hey, maybe game companies are going to have to start optimizing things again.
We've actually already, I think it was Larian said they're having to hire optimization teams now. Because you can't just upgrade your PC anymore.
Yup.
Granted, Larian said some other stuff that's like, just please stop talking.
Look, the amount of companies that say stuff and it just is foot into mouth,
CEOs say the darndest things.
What did he say? What? I have no idea what you're talking
about. I remember hearing about it, but I don't remember what he said.
He went in a weird pro AI bit thing for a little bit.
Ah.
The amount of people in like corporate positions that go like. There are definitely those that waffle between it, but there's like so many people that will go into it and then like it's some kind of insanity of like they want to make it work somewhere. Some of those like corporate people.
It's just the same old CEO who isn't really that involved with the actual development, just says things for investors.
Yeah. See the discussion at the beginning of the episode when we talked about the old D&D VTTs and stuff, where it's a bunch of the corporate people were like buzzwords, and they're like,
Yeah, basically, it literally.
We'll try to work with this.
CEOs just say stuff to get investors.
Yeah, we can try to work with this.
He had like a bad interview, and a lot of stuff was taken out of context.
Yeah, look, I literally just looked it up, and yeah, a lot of stuff is about him like later walking back and being he
clarified a lot of things later.
Yeah,
a little later than he should have, but he was on vacation. So.
Yep. No. So yeah, it sounds like it wasn't like he said things, but he could have been more careful with his words.
Yeah, he just wasn't that like careful with the words he chose.
Yeah. So, we can continue on. There's two little mini topics to talk about today. Oh, I didn't want to hit that button. We'll get to that then. I forgot that I didn't have to hit that button. I actually did. Well, that's be there for a second. Athon Books has acquired Panda Cult Games. So they're a digital first publisher, known for some books.
Sorry, I just saw Path to Ascension. That is literally the worst book series. Do not buy or read that book.
Ah, good to know.
Athon Audio does good stuff, has good stuff, but yeah, that one is like, yeah, no, don't.
Gotcha.
Literally, okay, let me put it this way. I read the first book. It was fine. There was a lot of problems with it, but the thing that really I hated was when I went to the second book. I'm like, okay, I could give this a chance. Maybe the guy gets better at writing. And I go to the second book. He literally walks back like half the character development from the first book. It's like it never even existed. It was just so. And then like literally after like the second like arc, they literally make this whole thing happen, and then they just explain it to a person rather than following the person who maybe could have like was doing stuff with it. They just went with the main character who was just all like sitting in a jail cell, and they're like, oh, we explained this to you afterwards. It's like, what? Anyway,
maybe it'll make a good game.
Forgot they did the Shovel Knight board game.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm gonna tell you right now, He Who Fights with Monsters is amazing. Primal Hunter is amazing. I haven't Drop Trooper and Grimm's War I have not read. But yeah, no, the one they use the picture for, the Path of Ascension, that one is terrible.
So it does look like what's going on is Athon wants to get into some tabletop kind of stuff, and they've acquiring Panda Cult to specifically more or less continue some of their own work, but also make adaptations a lot of their series they've been publishing and stuff like that. Because again, they say one of the first ones they're working on is a game based on Path of Ascension, where I'm like, well, maybe that will improve Path of Ascension to be in game form rather than book form.
I'm going to be honest, the reason I gave it like halfway through the second book was because it was a very interesting concept. It was just so poorly executed with terrible writing.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, if someone just makes a board game version of it, it might be good. Gotcha.
Yeah.
There's hope. Interesting. Cool.
Yeah. And I should clarify, Athon mostly does lit RPG content. Like, as far as I'm aware, all the books I've heard of from them are lit RPGs. So that's where basically books use video game elements in some fashion.
Gotcha. So
whether that's because oftentimes something called the system is like integrated into the world, and people have like health bars and stuff now, or whether or not there's some kind of tiered system like in Path of Ascension or something like that. Yeah, so there's lots of different there's lots of different approaches, but yeah.
Gotcha.
There's good ones and bad ones. Lit RPG is real hit or miss. I would not read when looking into them, it's really hard. It's a landmine because everyone always rates them good, but like there are a lot of bad ones that people rate like 5 stars. I'm just like, how why?
Gotcha.
Anyway, I've stopped listening to lit RPG for a little bit because of that.
Gotcha. Final of our little news things is that Gamefound has upgraded its terms of service to require AI usage disclosure. So good on Gamefound. I'm not gonna lie. Again,
more of this, please.
Yeah. it's the one thing that a lot of us have trouble with is when things are hidden or not disclosed, people aren't talking about it, what you're doing what with, again, like a lot of generative AI is not good, but there are uses for AI that are okay. It's just that we have to have you talk with us about them and not just hide shit, because then once you hide one thing, we suspect you hide another thing, and also like there's so many people that just in bad faith just use generative AI very badly too. So it's a mess right now. Pander to us a little bit, and this is also just helps out there too. So basically, it's mostly focusing on generative stuff there too. It looks like text, image, or video stuff.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Generative AI is the bad one, or I should say, the one that really needs to be cut down on.
Yep.
Cut down on.
I've yet to see
I
have yet to see a use for generative AI that is not better with a specific AI.
Yeah, you're not wrong. A lot of it just is let's make a lot of money and steal a lot of stuff.
A lot of it is I don't want to pay people.
Yeah. No one's going into creating these things with good intentions, unfortunately, and that's why we're not getting anything good. It's like the wrong people have latched onto this, and that's the problem.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now I just need Drive-through RPG to actually like enforce their AI policies. They have them, but they just don't enforce them, which is the problem.
Yes, it is the biggest problem about Drive-through RPGs. They just don't enforce their stuff. I mean, it's a challenge, I know, but still, would like them to. All right, I have switched over accidentally to the things, and this was something that I was thinking about. And I looked back at our old topics, and this is something that we actually haven't talked about before. We've talked about doing a session 0, maybe.
What happened to Traveler? Did you forget to bring it up again?
Yes, I did. Let's go back to Traveler. Sorry.
Basically, it's very simple. It'll take 2 seconds. Traveler.
Why don't you put the link in the
Traveler
chat
Second
here.
Edition. Yeah. Mongoose Traveler Second Edition.
I forgot to open that in my stuff, so that's why I didn't get it.
Anyway, they updated their vehicle handbook to their newer version. I haven't gone through it to see what's changed. I did get it. I just haven't gone through it because I only found out today, but it was released 2 days ago. 3, the 25th. They released it on Wednesday. Most of their Mongoose 2.1 or 2.5 or whatever you want to call it, Traveler stuff has been nice additions, usually cleaning some stuff up. I'm not sure they needed to for the vehicle handbook, because that was pretty solid, but we'll see. Because that's the thing, their 2.1 rules update was really mostly fixing things that weren't well written. I would argue that they probably should release a 2.2 for their core rule book, but everything's outside of their core rule book has been much better written.
Okay. All right. So, now, I was going to get to what I thought was an interesting topic to talk about today, and that was types of Session 0. Because we've discussed Session 0 in a couple ways in the past, but we haven't discussed like the different ways you can do a Session 0, because I think there are like at least 2 or 3 ways. Like, I think the ones I can mention right off the top of my head, and we should probably discuss like the merits of each of these, is character creation as a Session 0. An introductory, like, maybe mini adventure as a Session 0. Or I think the third one would be kind of something that's a little, like, in between both of them, which would be, like, background character discussion as a Session 0. Do you think those would be, like, the 3 main ones? choose, or is there anyone I'm missing?
I would, instead of calling this types of Session 0, I would say potential parts of a Session 0. I feel like Session 0 is very much something you can cobble together from different pieces depending on what you need and how you plan to run. I mean, one thing that I would argue is an important Session 0 piece, especially if you're with a bunch of people who are new and don't know each other, is the lines and veils kind of talking points. Some people can dedicate a whole Session 0 to that. Basically, finding people's limits and what they're willing to and not willing to have in the game. And yeah, character creation is a big one. You could probably have a whole Session 0 about just going over people, like going over your world. You could have a whole Session 0 about kind of having people create their backgrounds. There's a lot of different stuff you can do with Session 0.
Let's talk Panera's new mix.
Something played accidentally on my end. I had to mute it.
I mean, one of the big thing for Session 0 is, one of the biggest things for Session 0 is just going over any house rules.
Well, that's a good one. House rules too.
House rules is another good one.
Yeah. Again,
or like specific mechanics. Like for Pathfinder, you probably want to go over a couple of pretty important mechanics in a Session 0. For Shadowrun, I'm sure you'll want to go over quite a few more, like how spellcasting is meant to work. Are we doing Matrix stuff, which you shouldn't?
I'm not gonna lie, none of the characters basically said anything about Matrix stuff, so I'm not gonna do anything with it. No one mentioned an interest in it, so I'm like, out the window. I don't care anymore. I don't want to do it.
That's the thing. I had two character concepts. One was going to be an adept. The other one was going to be a techie.
Like, I could have made it work if someone wanted to do it. The thing is, I would have done.
Now he wasn't going to be a rigger or a decker. I mean, he was going to just be like, he was still going to be like, it was literally both characters were going to be snipers, but one of them was going to be, an
adept. More tech focused.
One was going to be cyber enhanced. That was basically the two differences.
I know when I went in with the Shadowrun game, I made it very clear I'm going to do a mage, and then I built the wrong thing because the book is ass and laid out poorly.
Yes,
I'm going to do a mage, but I'm not doing astral projection because I don't want to deal with that.
It was the thing that...
astral projection is big. Is a big hassle. Astral sight, if you are doing a mystic adept, then you will have default access to.
Yeah, I think that is astral sight is something I'm gonna have to do, which is fine.
Yeah,
I think
but
for
that's
me,
what I was saying.
Like,
it's better to have one or the other, and both is a lot on Tempest.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
If I was going to have one of them, I could make it do. But I wasn't going to. I was definitely going to put my foot down if people were going to try to do both of them. I was like, I can't do both of them. I can do one or the other because, it's the thing of you technically are handling all three at once, and that's a little too much. Handling two at once, I've done it before to when it comes to things like Shadowrun. So I'm like, yeah, I could probably handle it okay.
To be fair, also the Astral, in my opinion, is easier because it's not like. The tech landscape can be completely different than like the real world, whereas the like the VR or the stuff. But the astral is literally just there's a bunch of toxin spirits sitting over that trash can. It's not like as crazy.
Yes,
there's auras and stuff, but it's kind of actually grounded into what you can already see.
Weird spirits over there. Let me cast my spirit punch spell.
Yeah.
I do like that we can just call it the Spirit Punch spell. It's not called that, but it should be called.
It's called like Spirit Claw or some shit.
Yeah, I didn't look too much into the Matrix stuff, but yeah, like the heavy Matrix.
Yeah, I just know when I did my stint of a 4E game I was in years ago, the Matrix stuff just took too long.
Yeah, and that's the other thing because you do 10 Matrix turns per non-Matrix turn or whatever. It's ridiculous.
It's a lot.
And so. Yeah, and so it's all like one player is taking 5 times as many turns.
Yep.
Astral is a little faster. I think Matrix is 3 times as fast, but then Astral's 2 times as fast, so it's not as bad. I'd have to anyway. But yeah,
Anyway,
so going over mechanics,
yeah.
especially complex mechanics,
Mm-hmm.
homebrew rules, that kind of stuff.
Because everyone's rule sets are a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean that includes because that's the thing. It even includes bans and changes.
Mm-hmm.
Like Tanta's saying, I'm not going to do both Matrix and Astral is kind of a ban of a sort.
With our Pathfinder game that I'm in on Tuesdays, it was made very clear of you get the 3 core rule books, no weird splat books without permission.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, we're not going to know what the hell's going on.
Reasonable.
What? You can't use the 4E book that introduced a playable dragon race? Which was like a one-time... I think it was an April Fool's thing, actually.
There's a lot of unfortunate, crazy stuff that happens in Pathfinder, especially 1E.
Also, I think playing a dragon in 4E is for 360
no.
build points.
Yeah,
for the race alone.
Shadow and 4E, if you want to play
Mm-hmm.
just the basic dragon, it is 400 points, and then anything better than that is it's all your points basically. It's you could play that. You don't have anything else,
or
so you're not a good
real character.
Yeah, so you're not going to be a good character if you play a dragon. I'm sorry to say, because you just don't have the build for it unless you're starting with a lot of points and stuff like that. Yeah, and again, I think that's why part of me wanted to start with 5th edition. Just there's a side note here, because again, it does to a degree restrict some of that stuff because you don't have as many crazy choices.
There's less weird stuff, but 5th edition's book is a little rough.
Yeah.
I mean, the priority system is more, in my opinion, more complicated. Who knows? They might have fixed it a little bit in the 6th edition, but the way they force you to do anyway. We could talk about this more.
But I'll just say, I keep forgetting that 5E's priority system is more complex than 3E's priority system.
It is.
I keep thinking back to 3E's priority system, which was really simple and easy. And that's the one that keeps coming to my mind. And so every time that I think about, I'll just do 5E, it's oh no, they messed up the priority system a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it later, but my issue with the book is it just doesn't tell you some basic information you really need for character creation.
Yep. Yeah. It hides it in later chapters, or even some stuff in a previous chapter, and doesn't even tell you where to find it half the time.
Yeah, I did. I really had to try and... I had a moment today of trying really hard to figure out what the hell Elf 3 means.
Yeah, that one was... They do say... All they say is it can be used on special attributes. I had a Control F special attribute.
Didn't tell me what Control F special attributes were at all.
Well, Control F is to find. I had to do Control F and then search special attribute, and went through all the listings for it to find out what that meant.
I literally went to a Reddit thread to be explain character creation to me.
Yeah. It's if I didn't like reading RPG books, I would be completely lost.
Yeah. But getting back to kind of the topic as we got off topic here a little bit, I think the entire thing is, it's not that I can't say that you can't kind of combine these, but these are I guess these are the aspects of it, and sometimes you focus on some of them. So I guess that is you were right about it. It's the aspects of a session 0, the portions of it, and then it's up to you how much you use of any of them.
Yeah. When I do a session 0, my biggest focus, because I know my group, so they know all our house rules, so we don't have to worry about that. My biggest thing is, give me ideas of what the hell you idiots want to play, so I know what I'm dealing with. Lore primer, and then what is the vibe of this game going to be from your characters?
Yeah. It's a thing that I tried to do 3 things for the session 0 that I ran on Wednesday. I tried to do a little bit of, here's a little primer about the world, here's a little primer about the rules, and then let's work on some characters together. Because technically speaking, I think when I do the quotation session 1, it will technically also have a little bit of 0 in there, as I'll kind of like establish where things are leading into the adventure and like the kind of prequel kind of things together. But we already did kind of try to work out like why you'd be working together, you know, things like that. I already went into those kind of like some important details about like, you know, and we did establish that, you know, 2 of the people are living together. The other one has been hired a lot. And, you know, Momo, your character's been hired here and there a few times, you know, so it's sort of like it's leading to this kind of like dynamic that's been very kind of interesting in all the things. And that's what I was trying to focus on, getting well set up in quotations, you know, as best we can.
As well, yeah, as good as we can do.
Yep.
Yeah.
I still need to figure out. I made my character have stupid good vision, but I still need to figure out how vision actually works.
I still have to do my skills largely.
Um,
I have my stats done for the new stuff I'm doing. I just haven't done skills yet.
Yeah,
And then I have to mess with equipment so hard.
Yeah. I mean, I think an important thing to ask about Session 0 is definitely, like, what is the most important thing? Because sometimes you just can't get to everything, even if you have multiple Session 0s.
Yeah.
And that really does vary from person to person, I will say. Or session to session, what you're trying to do. I mean, like I said, if you're in a group full of people who don't know each other, lines and veils is very important.
Establishing the tone of the game is also, like, really important. I've definitely had sessions where I've messed up not doing, like the Star Wars game. Every character was so different because I didn't establish the type of vibe I wanted for the game.
Yep. I would argue that not establishing the vibe is a mistake Tantus has made to devastating effect on a few occasions.
It happens. Yeah. That can just be, you know, understanding how to communicate to your players sometimes, certain things about the game too.
They can just very easily slip your mind to mention this is the kind of game it's going to be.
Well, it's definitely like, I definitely like knew some basics about like the Star Wars game when we came into it, but I also like, I tried to, because you didn't give a vibe, I tried to put my character position where I could adapt myself a degree in anything when I kind of
believe me, you weren't the problem.
I know. I definitely know that, you know.
There are 2 characters that specifically were the problem.
Yeah. Like I liked that game. I tried. It's just we had the problem twins activate. So yeah, unfortunate. So yeah. So I think there are these like big moments for when we talk about what it means to do a session 0 in a lot of ways that are important. And I think it's also the important thing to codify that like it doesn't necessarily mean like when you talk about the session 0 stuff that you have to like sit down in a room with everybody in a lot of ways. Like some of this information you could share on an individual basis. It's just that like at very least you should have things like a group chat where people are talking about their characters, you know, especially on backstory, connections, things like that can work out how characters know each other. So that like, and then like if you like establish world or mechanics or rules, there doesn't need to be like, it has to have that stuff. It doesn't need to be in a actual physical session 0 necessarily. You just have to do that together. And usually though, you do want at least something where you like, you know, test the waters with everybody and get them together, especially if it's a new group. You know, if it's a group that knows each other, you probably don't have to like throw them into the proverbial meat grinder as much because they're going to work together too, you know. But again, it's that entire thing of like, as I said, I'm probably going to have a little bit of like a part of the session on Wednesday will be the like intro for the bits, kind of like backstory, kind of session 0 stuff before we get into the actual session. I'm just rolling from one into the other because one's not going to be a full session, you know. That's kind of the plan that I have right now. So we will establish stuff very session 0-y, so I'll have that part of it in the session. But yeah. All right, we're back. Hi, yes. I fixed the problems, kind of. I have to reopen chat here because I can see chat in OBS, but I haven't reopened Firefox because I was reopening stuff. So hi, welcome back. So it turns out that a bunch of stuff crashed, and I'm gonna have to get the VOD from Twitch directly, it seems like, for that entire video. Yay, editing. That's fine.
Hooray.
We were talking about stuff. I got distracted. Sure. Where do we want to? Do we have anything else? I don't know what else to say. I just
Honestly, yeah. Basically, it's modular. There are pieces. Let me see if I can list them out. Let's see, lines and veils.
Start.
Then you've got character creation, rules, and rule changes. Let's see, character concepts, or character backstories, I'll probably say, or like character connections. There we go. And then
that's a good one to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, those are. I feel like those are the big ones. I'm trying to think if we talked about something else.
It was like I'm trying to think about it. Yes, character creation, probably I would say character introductions, that kind of an idea of how the characters get along, know each other, that kind of thing, generally speaking.
Yeah.
Rules, world, and also custom rules.
That's what
Yeah.
Yep.
Because rules and custom rules are technically different, it's like...
No, I agree.
Yeah.
No,
so
they're different.
So those 5 things are the kind of things that you have to figure out how much of each of them you need for your session 0 and then kind of combine together. You really, most of them you want, it's at most like, depending on the group, rules and custom rules are like the only 2 that I'd say, and maybe like world to a degree. Like I could also say world is like what the hell you're doing with the running of the game. That's the kind of thing that sometimes I've made mistakes of here's how the game will be run. That can also be there too, and like
Yeah, tone. We didn't mention that as well.
Yeah, I think that kind of fits under that to a degree there. Tone. So
there we go. Enjoy that. Just do that.
Cool. All right. I'm just gonna skip ahead to where we theoretically were to what we played this week. So, we didn't have a Sunday because we're having it tomorrow for Joe's game.
Yep.
So, well, I know you usually have Mondays, Tuesdays, so I turn it over to you.
Yeah, so my Monday game wrapped up. We're done, fully. Game done. They had their big final cool boss fight where I'm gonna call it a draw. Because... it's effectively a bunch of immortal people fighting each other. No one could really win. So the bad guy was just like, all right, I don't want to do this anymore. I guess you can have what you want.
Bad guy got bored and annoyed. Gotcha.
A little bit, because it's basically like everyone's kind of immortal at that point. No one is really losing or winning, and the guy truly he's evil, but he's just kind of like sucking with people.
That kind
they
of
basically
evil.
like
Gotcha.
discovered like we've closed the big rift in the sky, also we saw a dead god that is like maybe gonna get revived, but that's not our problem. So they did it. They won, and now that game's over, and I can stop having to be creative.
I understand that feeling. Sometimes just like...
I did have the primary antagonist come back as a ghost, and I think the party was expecting her to regret her actions, but nah, she's still evil as a ghost.
Like, fuck you! You killed me.
She like wiped out a large portion of elves and then looked at the elf and was like, yeah, remember what I did to you? And then she left.
Oh, man. Damn. Man. Jeez. I respect it, but also, damn.
Well, the villain's just not going to suddenly become not evil because you killed him.
Yeah. No, it makes
If
sense.
anything, they're gonna be salty about it.
Goddamn, killed me. What do you expect me to say? Cool. All right. How'd Tuesday go then?
It went fine. We thought we're done with the Opera House dungeon. We fought a horse-sized hellhound and also a bunch of smaller hellhounds. I had never seen the huge-sized hellhound in Pathfinder before, so that was interesting.
Hmm.
It was in a tiny room for some reason. I don't know how they got it there. But it was there, and it died pretty quickly because I can smite people, and the alchemist throws holy bombs.
Yep. I don't know how they got it there is such a classic for most RPGs.
It's like, why is this here? But we found a bunch of people turned to stone in the dungeon who are political enemies, so we're gonna fix that hopefully at some point. And then we found out that the Lord Mayor of the town was turned into a vampire. That came out of nowhere. Wasn't really expecting that one. So we killed her and then resurrected her. Because apparently to cure vampirism in Pathfinder, all you need to do is kill the vampire and then cast Raise Dead on them. And then they're good. Apparently that's how it works. That might just be an adventure path thing, but that's what the book said to do.
I'm not saying that it's not true, but I have to remember. I don't think you might be able to do that with like true resurrection. Resurrection might work. There are a couple that mentioned that they can be used like once an undead is dead again, you get it back. So I guess it's like you technically have to kill them anyway, but I don't know where the vampire, where it's like actually defeated.
I'm going to look up Raise Dead specific wording.
Well, I think it would probably be Resurrection, because Raise Dead I don't think does that.
Yeah, it might have just been for that adventure path.
Sometimes they do that too.
That is what the book, because they bend rules in these things all the time.
Yeah.
We got her fixed up. She's now an ally for when the rebellion kicks off.
Thank you for unvampiring me. It was very unpleasant.
Yeah, pretty much. It's really awkward to talk to someone after you've smited them twice.
So you stabbed me in the gut a couple of times.
So really sorry about doing that and then decapitating you.
It was still kind of unpleasant, and I wasn't very happy about it. But you know what? I do feel less, monstery.
We're
so
sorry
I guess it's better.
We didn't have any of the stuff to actually like kill a vampire, so we had to effectively just keep beating her up while she was at 0 HP, so she wouldn't get up, while someone ripped the coffin apart to make a wooden stake.
Yep. Sounds about right.
So yeah, it was a bit of a mess, but we did that. And now I don't actually remember what our goal at the moment is. I don't think we have one. I think our goal is actually just to unpetrify a bunch of people. Once again, Paizo hit us with the everything in this dungeon you could take and sell, but you probably shouldn't.
Classic.
So yeah, it's a little weird.
Definitely a classic on that one. All right. Well, that was certainly interesting adventures. Well, if you did miss it, I would. It hasn't been uploaded yet, but when it does get uploaded over this weekend, I'm going to be uploading it either tomorrow or Tuesday. I just have to figure out which day I can get things together for it. But session 0 of the A Frosty Job, the first of the Artifact Runner series. As I had said during that session, if this goes well, we might revisit this as a series of adventures, set in the same kind of version of Shadowrun, basically is what it's going to be. AKA, I'll take some more books up of the series there and adapt them too, in the same way I'm going to do for this one. Because there's like 5 books in this series that are adventures that you can do together or separate. It'll be that kind of way. Maybe it'll be connected, maybe they won't. But they'll be like same plot line at least.
This will be a fun teaser for the game, but my knowledge skills so far consist of a lot of languages, because I guess I've decided I'll just speak the language of every organized crime thing in Seattle.
which isn't bad too, because even though you're not going to be in Seattle, most of those organized crime have connections outside into the world.
Yeah, because I've got I think I got Chinese for the Triad. I've got Japanese for the Yakuza.
Yeah.
Russian for the Russian Mafia.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Italian for the regular Mafia.
And I'm going to tell you, when you're me specifically saying and describing in the thing is you're going into some kind of underworld deal to acquire something that could go sideways, where they'll turn from bodyguards to possible muscle to get it. Automatically, you're like, oh, maybe I can help with like the version of that place that's over here then too, because most of those three have some representation across the globe somewhere. Usually.
If you want to know what I'm getting up to,
Okay.
I can snipe. I get a. My vision is so good that I only get a -1 from sniping from 1.5 kilometers away.
Oh, you got bird eyes, so it makes sense.
You got bird eyes.
Yeah, one of the positive qualities I took is linguist, and I will just note the opening text of it is, nothing impresses an out-of-town Johnson more than negotiating their native tongue, and knowing when they're telling their goon squad to kill you is pretty useful too.
I really love the flavor sometimes that Shadowrun does. They do a lot of really terrible ideas, but then they just do these little like flavor things where they're just like, "Yep, you won me back."
I'm actually curious. Are you gonna pick up the linguist adept?
I
feature?
am planning on picking that up, so I could just listen to someone for X amount of time and learn their language.
That definitely will make it very easy, no matter it doesn't really matter where we're going. Then you'll be pretty good for.
Yeah, you're like wherever we're going, you're going to have me who can speak the language.
Yeah.
It takes a few hours and you only get 1 in it.
I think it's 12 hours minus magic skill.
Yeah, something like that. That makes sense. Yeah. So, and then you automatically get a level 1 in that language skill, which is still nice. Having a
again,
1.
you will know where you're going and have a little bit of time to set up. So it would be something like, those people that could also buy language softs, which help, but that's it's a little slower. That's like having a Google Translate that you can use.
It pairs well with the linguist quality, because the linguist quality gives you +1 dice to all language skill checks.
That's nice, yeah.
So a 1 is going to just be treated as a 2. So.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so range modifiers are funny. Because yeah.
So I mean, it was a good little session 0 that when it comes out, I do recommend checking that out. I am positive for the group we have. I'll put it that way. Even the bird doesn't ruin it for me.
Oh, I think the bird's kind of cool.
The
bird isn't the weirdest thing I've seen in Shadowrun.
I'm not gonna lie. The bird, at very least, won't probably try to shoot people as a bird.
Well, you don't got thumbs. It's really hard to shoot a gun when you don't have thumbs.
There's a reason I did put some points into melee.
Yeah, no. What I mean is, I tried to run a Shadowrun game, and someone had one of the magic spells to shape change into a bird and was scouting something out, and then it was decided to carry a gun with them, and then try to shoot it. Nice. And I had to figure out how a bird would shoot a gun.
Poorly.
I'm gonna be honest, I just kind of figured I'd use it to get to vantage points, and then turn into a person and shoot from there.
Which is
I didn't expect you to let me shoot a sniper rifle as a bird.
No one would ever suspect the seagull.
That being said, maybe I should have gotten a tiny pistol.
A little bird gun.
Just look, I've got my trauma. We don't need that. Anyway.
I'll just take the Pathfinder spell anthropomorphic animal and give you big man arms.
Enjoy your big man arms. Anybody else do anything on Thursday or Friday then?
No. Not tabletop related.
I have one thing I can kind of say. I did get back to that Neverwinter Nights session with Joe. We replayed the bit. We waited a while. We only got the chance to play once, so we didn't really get that far. But we got farther than we were before because we knew what we were doing. Plus, we actually got to an area we hadn't gotten to before, which was really cool, you know? So it ended up being okay because we gave it like a week. And, you know, we'll probably revisit it again here and there, you know, when it's like, when Joe wants to do something and it's just the two of us, I can be like, sure, we'll throw in some Neverwinter Nights and go play some 3.5-ish. I mean, it's fine. It's fun, but it is also like, it's old. It's a lot of just point at creature kill. It's why I built a fighter, and so I power attack and cleave. It's like, look, I'm not doing anything crazy. We have fighter and rogue and a billion healing potions the games keep giving us. So I'm like, I don't need to rest. It's healing potions all the way. How'd set today go, Worm? We'll turn it over to you.
Yeah. So we interrogated a guy. He didn't like us very much because we killed all his friends, which is fair.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because then after that we talked far too much. I don't know. People keep going like, I don't know what's been going on recently. I know it happens a lot in this group, but also I feel like just people have been really like nitpicking plans lately. Anyway, but after a little bit, we eventually decided to just go and kill the dragon. So we slept, prepared spells and stuff, and then left. Ran into a drow patrol though. Took him out, moved on, and then we found this. We had found a secret entrance to the dragon's lair the previous session, and then so we snuck in the back, and basically their secret escape hatch is our secret way in.
Ooh.
And yeah, so we snuck in the back, and he had some mimics guarding his treasure, which was that's causing. We didn't touch the treasure; they just surprise attacked us. So that's basically where we ended.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, it sounds like it was a fun week in gaming. I'm gonna have to slice together some episodes. That's fine. I'll do that. Maybe I'll just throw this out on Tuesday and have the Session 0 fall of artifacts on Monday. That'll make it easy. Yeah, we'll see about that. Anyway, I guess shout outs and goodbyes and stuff like that we should do. Thank you two for joining me. Momo, do you have anything to kind of throw out there? Shout out?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, we'll throw it over to, of course, Worm for your normal shout out.
I'm DiamondWyrm. You can find me on twitch.tv/DiamondWyrm or at DiamondWyrm on Twitter, Blue Sky, and on YouTube. My next stream will be tomorrow. I should be finishing up Outer Wilds.
Ooh, fun. Hi. Jacob. Of course, you've been on my channel. You can always check out old episodes of this over on my YouTube. I would definitely recommend them. Get some ideas of some things you might want to play, or at very least, the deeper discussion topics are always fun to listen to, if at all. So make sure to check those out. I have social media link below. My next day is on the schedule Tuesday. Depending on how things go, I may cancel Tuesday and just go on Wednesday, but I'll let people know. I'm going to try to stick with having Tuesday also. I'll let people know though what's going on when I do. So yeah, I think that's all the things off the top of my head. So everybody, have a great rest of your weekend, great rest of your day, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.